Royals baseball comes to you from Kauffman Stadium, where the Royals have to pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and try and move on after the Minnesota Twins scored 3 in the 9th inning last night to take Game 1. And it's just 1 game and 1 loss, and yet in 1 day the Royals have gone from 2.5 back with 4 teams to pass to 3.5 back and 5 to pass for that second wild card spot. Hi everyone, welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. Joel Goldberg and Jeff Montgomery are coming up. You don't really want to pick on one facet. This is a team game, and yet the numbers that have changed most dramatically for the Royals since August 1st have been the pitching numbers.
Yeah, and you know what, Rhino, since starting pitching is the main currency in Major League Baseball, that's been a problem. Before August 1st, they had the 4th best overall pitching ERA in baseball, but since then they've been dead last. So not very good when it comes to holding the opponents down. Now, can you find guys to step up? Yes, they weren't expecting to have to fill some of these spots, but they have guys now that can step up. It's Kennedy tonight. They can't afford another loss in this series.
And Ian Kennedy was right in the middle of that August swoon with an ERA of almost 10, but his first start in September was against Minnesota, and he showed some positive signs. Brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all or less. The worst month of Ian Kennedy's career was this past August. He had a 9.57 ERA. There was some talk about maybe he needed to skip a start to just kind of pull things together. But he said he was feeling fine, and in his last start against the Twins, he looked a lot better.
He's a stand-up guy. I like Kennedy. Kennedy, he's not afraid. He likes to go out and execute his pitches. He's had a tough time ever since his injury back in May. But he used his defense. He did exactly like Ned Yost wanted at Dave Island. He ate up 5 2/3 innings, just gave up a couple of earned runs. But I like how he pitched to contact and got some early count outs. They need that in the worst way today. They can't afford to give Minnesota any more ground.
When we come back, Joel and Monty will talk about Irvin Santana. He'll be making the start for the Twins tonight.
opposite of him, just as he did last Sunday. Ervin Santana, a player, a pitcher that we and the Royals are all familiar with.
Yeah, and Santana's having a fantastic season. Got 14 wins on the year, but I think the Royals feel pretty good against Ervin Santana. Career-wise, actually, they have a winning record against him. 6-10 is his record against the Royals, but last time out, they got 4 runs in 6 innings. Probably a little better than what most teams have done, but see, Melky Cabrera's going to deliver on that one, going deep against fellow countryman Ervin Santana. He's a guy that never gets shaken on the mound, though.
Had a great start against the Royals early in the year, a bad one in the middle, and a decent one last week. And you mentioned Melky Cabrera. He is part of our Kia in the driver's seat, along with Eric Hosmer, 2 players among many for the Royals. You mentioned the comfort and the familiarity against a very good pitcher.
Yeah, good pitcher. Love to see guys set the table for Cabrera and Hosmer to tee off maybe tonight on Mr. Freeze.
You see all that emotion there?
He's very cool, isn't he?
As cool as they come, just like that little one there. We are ready for baseball. 2nd of 4 between the Twins and the Royals coming up.
Is brought to you by the Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickup on the road. Find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. By the Missouri Lottery, every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools. So play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. And by Ford, going further so you can. Royals need to get it going at home. They're just 3 games above 500 at home this year, and they have lost 4 of their last 5. Minnesota, meanwhile, has the 3rd best road record in the American League. The lineups and the first pitch are next. here tonight. Last night we had 26,000 for game 1 between the Twins and the Royals. It is girls' night out tonight, and the winner of our broadcast auction was down on the field with the girls' night out package. Had a chance to meet Eric Hosmer and other Royals. It was somewhat of an accomplishment last night for the Royals to hold Minnesota to just 4 runs, as the Twins since the beginning of August have scored the most runs in the major leagues and have hit the second most home runs. But 3 of those runs came in the 9th inning as Minnesota batted around. And the Royals got a nice start last night from Sam Gaviglio, and now it'll be Ian Kennedy with his 27th start of the year.
Ian Kennedy, not 245 average against, is good. Just 125 hits and 135. His hits are underneath his innings pitch. That's always a good sign. Loves his fastball, 62% of them. Fastball, that's 4-seamer. Curveball, slider, change. Everything that he throws needs to stay down, although the 4-seam fastball at times above the belt is an effective pitch. See if he can keep her down. Forward around the horn, Royals defense. Paulo Orlando is out in the center. Locane seemed like he was carrying a leg or something. He's a little bit slow out there last night, but I think this will be good for him to be the DH and get off his feet a little bit. Paulo has got, last year was 10+ runs saved. That was in the top 10 in the American League. He knows how to go get them.
Joe West is the crew chief in his 40th year as a big league umpire. Over 5,000 games umpired, with Andy Fletcher at first base, Alan Porter at second, and Chris Siegel at third. This will be Ian Kennedy's 5th start against the Twins this year. He is 0-2, and he is without a quality start against Minnesota, but we showed you at the top of the broadcast that he took a step in the right direction on Sunday at Target Field, allowing just 2 earned runs in 5 2/3 innings.
They'd love to see a repeat of that, but you know, in order for him to do that, it'd be nice if he could keep the ball in the yard. It's been very difficult for him. He likes to challenge hitters. He's you know, we need to get a home win for him. The offense needs to come out tonight, give him some run support, let him go 5+ innings, because he's had a span of 17 straight home starts without a win. That's got to change. They need him to step up tonight. Got to get some run support to do it.
Base hit left field for Dozier. He was 0 for 4 last night, but he had a sac fly to tie the game in the top of the 9th inning, which drove Alex Gordon to the wall. It was very close to a grand slam.
They're ready. Last start at Target Field for Kennedy, they were swinging at his first pitch because they're looking for that heater, and they were ambushing him. Now, fortunately for Ian, they were able to hit the ball at his defense, so it was good. It kept his pitch count down the first couple innings.
Joe Mauer, on the other hand, he came to the plate 5 times last night and reached all 5 times with 3 hits and 2 walks. And he is showing bunt with Torres deep at third. So Mauer is up to 306.
That had to have been just a bluff. I've never seen him sacrifice bunt.
Breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. You mentioned the Twins jumping on Kennedy's fastball, and if you go by Kennedy pitch by pitch, that's probably the biggest drop off for him. Remember, last year he had the most strikeouts of any major leaguer last year with his fastball.
Yep. He was able to put it where he wanted to. Now, you know, you're gonna take it deep every so often in the big leagues with that, but very confident with it.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's a comparison from last year. Opponents hit just 208 against his fastball. 145 strikeouts, 44 strikeouts, most in the major leagues. 65 with his fastball this year.
So it wasn't working. Dave Ireland, especially after his injury in May, said, hey, Can we mix in some more change-ups and breaking balls? Okay, let's try to pitch a little bit more.
Dozier runs. The pitch is outside. Dozier is safe.
Dozier, great jump. That's his 15th steal. Great jump. Only way it got him if that ball was right on the bag. Took a small peek back to see if Bauer was going to make any contact with it. Just notice how he slides to the far corner of the base, because that's where the farthest for the tag for Escobar to put it on him.
Two and two on Mauer. Dozier will head to third, and he will advance on the ground ball to short. So a good read by Dozier on a ball that was basically hit right at him, but not very hard.
Yep, that's a good read. You know when you can advance.
And up comes Jorge Polanco. He had the big hit with 2 down in the 9th inning last night. A 2-run single to turn a 2-2 tie into a 4-2 Minnesota lead, and that was the final. And the Royals will put the pressure on with 1 out in the 1st inning with the infield in. Low for ball 1. Two balls and no strikes. Up until August 1st, Jorge Polanco was mostly known for his defense, but that changed in the month of August. He has the 2nd best batting average in the American League since August 1st, and the 2nd most extra base hits in the American League since August 1st.
You know, without knowing all those numbers, just by where he's hitting in the batting order and watching him swing the bat, he's a totally different player. No wonder Molly's promoted him to that 3rd spot.
And Polanco walks on 4 pitches. Kennedy was pitching him very carefully. Minnesota has 1st and 3rd with 1 out, and Eddie Rosario coming up. Kennedy's start Sunday at Minnesota, the only walk he allowed was an intentional walk, and that was the first time for him in over a year that he allowed 0 unintentional walks, if you will.
So if you can mix in a little ground ball double play here. He hasn't induced 11 this year. He's a fly ball pitcher mainly.
Down and away to Rosario. He was 1 out of 5 last night, and he hits .375 in his career against Kennedy. Dozier opened the game with a single. He stole 2nd. He went to 3rd on a ground out by Mauer, and then Polanco reached with a walk. Minnesota still missing Miguel Sano, who's out with an injured shin. But they have gone 11-8 with Sano on the disabled list. Near the left field line. Alex gets behind it. Dozier's tagging. Here's the throw, and it hits Dozier, backed up by Kennedy, who goes down to 2nd base. So Polanco advances, Dozier advances, and Minnesota leads 1-0.
Alex Gordon getting to it with no problem. Had a tough time really getting any kind of momentum though coming forward as the last minute. He had to back up a step, so sometimes that takes away from the momentum on your throw, but just Salvi stepped back and let the ball hit Dozier in the back. They had no chance on it.
That was almost the identical spot where Jason Castro hit a bloop in the 9th inning last night against Kelvin Herrera.
That's right.
Buxton swings and misses, no balls and 1 strike. Alex admitted after the game that that's a ball where he needs to take charge and make the catch. But think of all the fly balls that have been hit in that area with Alex Gordon left and Alcides Escobar at short. You talk about 2 guys who know each other.
Well, you know, it's just so much easier play for the left fielder to make. You're coming in, you can see it all in front of you. And for Escobar running over his shoulder, I mean, we've seen him time and time again to make great catches like that. But man, that's the left fielder's ball all the way.
One and 2 on Buxton.
He saved a lot more runs than he's given in, though. I can tell you that. Now this was a play. Escobar such a great jump. Watch Esky, and you know Torres, he just backed off totally, but Alex became a spectator. And he watched Escobar too, and I think that's where he erred is the fact that he just backed off. He backed off about 10 feet before the ball and became a spectator watching Esky try to make the play.
Buxton is down on strikes. Minnesota leaves a runner at second base, but they take the lead on Rosario's sacrifice fly. 1-0 Twins to the bottom of the 1st. Baseball. One day you're zipping around the bases in Detroit, scoring 13 runs. The next day you're at home and held to 2 runs, 9 hits, and that's what the Royals offense did last night against the Twins. Tonight they'll get Irvin Santana. He is making his 29th start. Good numbers, 14 wins, a 3.35 ERA, and an excellent opponent's batting average, 222. Which is among the best in the American League. With Merrifield, just like Brian Dozier, jumps on the first pitch and reaches with a single. Last night Witt had 2 hits and drove in a run.
Like it, belt high, he'll take it right down the middle, short and compact. That's beautiful. Get on it. Twins defense was dealing last night. Of course, they had Gibson on the mound, who's a incredible ground ball rolling pitcher, and a 4 ground ball double plays was solid and helped him a lot.
Witt just got a huge jump on Santana. Castro had no chance, but catchers have been advised with replay to throw down to second base anyway, just in case the runner disengages with the bag after the slide.
That's what replay's done. Exactly. They told Santana. I mean, our guy Salvador Perez, Pedro Gafal said, hey, because early in the season when guys would get a great jump off of his pitcher, he wouldn't throw it. So Pedro said, hey, look, throw it down there anyway, just in case the guy comes off. You got to do it. Like the swing there to right field.
So Dozier singled. He stole second. And if the trend continues, Kane will get Merrifield over to third. Not on a pitch like that. 2 balls and 1 strike.
No, pitchers and catchers, they know the situation as well. So they're not going to try to give him anything middle in if they can help it. I mean, middle away. You want to pitch him in, tell him to pull the ball. And you can get the runner over by pulling him as well. So don't think that that's the only way you can get him over and in.
We can make a strong case right now that maybe he should try and pull the ball.
Yeah.
With Escobar's close to the bag at third, and Polanco's preoccupied with keeping Merrifield close. Now Polanco.
Yeah, now he's moving off a little bit. 3-1, but it's more of a pull count.
Still taking a shot at the right side. It's 3-2 on Kane. He had an infield single in the first inning last night and was 1 for 4.
Good looking couple.
John Wathan and his wife Nancy enjoying the game in the crown seats tonight. There you go. Both teams are doing the same thing tonight. Leadoff single, stolen base, ground ball, get the runner to third. And the tying runs at third with 1 down.
Now that 28 steal by Whitley, that ties him with Rajai Davis and Gerard Dyson for 28. And that's, you know, Altuve has 31, who leads the league in the American League. So at least Whitley's moving on up.
Melky Cabrera hit a 2-run home run against Irvin Santana when he saw him Sunday in Minneapolis. That one will stay in the ballpark, but it will also tie the game. Kepler makes the play. Merrifield comes down from third, and we're tied at 1. That is the 83rd RBI of the year for Melky Cabrera.
They had to work a little bit harder. What the Twins did for their run than we did. Dozier had to get dirty with a head-first slide at home. Whitley, he's clean except for the dirt he's got from the steal.
So both teams leadoff single, stolen base, ground ball advance the runner, sacrifice fly.
Like it. Play the game. That's how you do it. You saw how easy that worked. Get the runner at second base with less than 2 outs. Move him over and get him in. High percentages to score him.
Hosmer is out by a step, running hard on a slow roller to the right side. Tied at 1 at the end of 1.
Stadium after one, playing some small ball, both teams, and each looking for some pitching. Joel Goldberg down by the home dugout. Ian Kennedy out on the mound again, and talking to a number of people today, and what impressed everybody most about Ian in his start at Minnesota, which was really the first good one he had had in a while, was the better command. And Dave Island saying the misses were limited. They were good misses because they were low and they were out of the zone. Talking guys with Salvador Perez today, he said, I want him to be doing the same. I want the misses down, whether it's a fastball, a curveball, or a change. Elevate every now and then with purpose, but like Gavilio last night, keep it down. And then Salvi with a big smile said, and of course just tell him, follow Salvi every time, everything will be okay. But they're really impressed with the location, and you could see that in the first inning too. Everything, including that strikeout to end the inning, down by the knees or below.
He'll get Max Kepler, Eduardo Escobar, and Jason Castro. Breaking ball inside, 2-1 on Kepler. He got that ninth inning started. He was down in the count 0-2 against Herrera and singled to center field.
Yep. Now, some might have thought that that fastball was a mistake, but really it was in tight, didn't break his bat, but Kepler had a quick swing on it and he was able to pull his hands in and barrel it. You know, one of those things that happens, and obviously Herrera just not having the confidence to get that ball by him in that situation.
Kepler's a .247 hitter this year, but against the Royals this season, you can add almost 100 points to his average. So that leadoff single in the ninth inning last night, that was nothing new against the Royals this season. And now he chops it out to Hosmer, who plays the short hop. One down. It has been 17 starts since Ian Kennedy has won a game here at Kauffman Stadium. That started against Minnesota August the 20th of last year. That is a Royals record, and it's a personal high for him. He had never gone more than 6 starts in a row without a win at home. He has not received very good run support at home in his last several starts, so it's not all on him. Escobar hooks it out into right field. He's on with 1 out.
Yeah, that's on the outer half, and it definitely was exactly like you explained it. He hooked it. I mean, that ball, he could have went the other way, but he was set on dead pull. It was elevated enough for him to get his top hand on it.
One on, 1 out to Jason Castro. Foul ball off to the left side, a little bloop to the left side in the ninth inning last night. That was the momentum changer. She has one of the fedoras from Salute to the Negro Leagues.
Yeah, she does.
Right?
That's a cool looking cap.
And made her night. She had a foul ball at a big league game.
That's right.
Oh, and 2 on Castro. Batting at .230. But he was a tough out. Remember how many times he walked when the Royals opened the season in Minneapolis?
Yeah, he was a key to their sweep.
Couldn't throw a strike to him.
He was red hot early. And he's a veteran. He understands the hitting part of a game. That's, you know, he's got some pop.
One and two. Castro got a change of scenery coming over to Minnesota this year. You mentioned he has some pop. In 2013, he had 18 home runs for the Astros. That was an Astros record for a catcher. And he was an all-star. But then after that, he hit 222, 211, 210, and now 230 in his first year with Minnesota. Got the outside with a breaking ball, and Kennedy strikes out his second.
Beautiful execution there. That's exactly where he wants to put that breaker. Started it up on the outer half and it ended up down low. Perfect. And Castro, you got to go. Beauty. Locked him up.
And now Robbie Grossman with a runner at first and two down. Grossman produced Minnesota's only run in the first 8 innings last night. He homered with one out against Gaviglio. Minnesota had 1 run, 6 hits in the first 8 innings. Held down by Gaviglio, Alexander, Moylan, and Minor.
Yeah, he got a little slider that just kind of stayed up in the zone and popped it out of here. Having your DH hit 9th is kind of unusual. But Grossman's got some pop. His next home run will be his 10th. He's not the greatest defender, but he can hit.
One ball and one strike. Grossman just got back from the disabled list on Tuesday. He had been out with a broken left thumb. And in his 3 games since returning from the disabled list, he has 2 home runs, a double, 4 runs scored, and 3 RBIs. Two and one. Kennedy appears to have good command of his curveball in the early innings. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He thought that was going to stay up. It locked him up. He saw it above the belt. Left it alone. Let's see if he can get out of this.
Full count. Brian Dozier is on deck. Escobar will run, but Hosmer's still going to hold him at the bag. Still 3-2.
Grossman, like Castro, he was a member of the Astros too. 2013 and 14. 15, 3 years. Didn't get a chance to play every day. His highest at-bat total when he was with the Astros was 360.
Runner goes again, and Grossman takes ball 4. That is Kennedy's second walk. And Minnesota will take walks. Game 3 between the Royals and the Twins is tomorrow night. The first 10,000 fans through the gates receive a Royals sweatshirt blanket presented by Farmland. It's made with soft sweatshirt material and is perfect for the cooler autumn months. Royals.com, an area price chopper location, or 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. 2 on and 2 out for Dozier. Kennedy starts him off with a slider. Dozier swung at the first pitch of the game and singled to left. He then stole second base and scored on a sacrifice fly by Rosario.
So first pitch, second at bat, he's going to take it. And I'd say 95% of the hitters will take for the first time up the second time, or the first pitch anyway.
And now it's 0-2.
Dozier's got some pop. I want to keep it away from his power zone. That's middle in. Never seen him hit a home run to the opposite field. Not many right-handers go opposite field here in this ballpark at the K. It's too deep.
And he gets a base hit to the opposite field. Escobar scores, and now on a throw back to the infield that just came bouncing in, Dozier is heads up and he goes into second base.
Ball was just squibbed. Okay, but Dozier, you got to give him some credit. That ball's way outside. Look at him take off out of the batter's box. He's looking for 2. Whitley goes for the ball, and now his job is to go back over to first base in case they get him in a little rundown. But there wasn't anybody there at second base by the time Haas is able to get the throw into him to get Dozier at second base. You know, yesterday when I told you, Rhino, when we were in the open of our show, I just had a feeling the defense was going to be a big part of the series. So far, that's the truth. You got to be able to be in the right place at the right time. The walk hurt Kennedy. Oh,
that was big, man. Right there.
Wow.
There was a lot of room up the middle. That may have saved 2 runs. Minnesota takes the lead. Dozier has scored a run. He has driven in a run. Time for the big story. And how about the Cleveland Indians? They have won 15 in a row. Last year they won 14 in a row. That was a franchise record. And now a year later, 15 straight. Oh, and by the way, they lead Baltimore 3-0 in the bottom of the 6th inning. First team since the 1935 Cubs to have back-to-back seasons with at least a 14-game winning streak.
It's incredible, really. They're doing everything right.
1-1 on Salvi.
Francona's interviews, after the games, they've been interviewing him, and time after time he keeps saying, they're asking him, what about the winning streak? He's like, well, look, that's what we plan on doing. We want to win baseball games, but we're just going to try to do the same thing tonight and tomorrow.
Buxton goes into right center field to get Salvador Perez. One down in the bottom of the second.
What's he supposed to say?
We only try to win 3 out of 5.
Yeah, they're on a roll, the best team in baseball.
We mentioned in the first inning that Irvin Santana has one of the best opponents' batting averages in the American League. Our Toyota League leaders has Santana only behind Luis Severino, the Yankees, Chris Sale, and Corey Kluber, and the top 2 guys on that list will probably be duking it out for Cy Young this year. Paulo Orlando is starting in center field tonight. Lorenzo Cain is the DH. Mike Moustakas is not in the lineup. Paulo always seems to hit well against Minnesota. He grounds that out to Mauer, who has an easy play. 2 down in the second inning. And now Alcides Escobar with 2 down. Escobar had an outstanding road trip through Minnesota and Detroit. He had 450, and now over his last 27 games, so you're talking about basically a month's worth of games, he's hitting 344. And it doesn't seem like that long ago he was fighting just to get to 200, and now he's at 243.
Yep, he wants to push it up to 250. Why not? Why stop there and keep it going?
Showing bunt, but Eduardo Escobar was already on the grass over at third.
Swing that bat, get another double. Leads the team in doubles.
Shallow left field. Eddie Rosario makes the play, and the Royals go down in order in the bottom of the second.
For the third inning, folks, just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller time later tonight's ball game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Jorge Polanco will lead off. He walked on 4 pitches in the first inning against Kennedy. Rosario and Dozier have driven in the Minnesota runs. Curveball is in for a strike. Alex over and back. 1 out in the 3rd. Join the Royals for Armed Forces Night presented by Price Chopper, Quick Trip, and Folds of Honor. That's Monday. The White Sox will be here. We hope you'll arrive early for a special pregame ceremony as we honor those men and women who have served this country and those still in active service. Get your tickets at Royals.com/tickets or call 1-800-6-ROYALS.
And aren't we going to be talking to some families of the troops that are out and about on Monday night? It's going to be fun. To give the troops, the men and women, a little taste of home, a little home cooking.
You know, Ian Kennedy and his wife Allison have moved to Kansas City with their 4 young daughters. Allison is pregnant with their 5th and will be due sometime this month, and they have been over the top charitable, and every Saturday they host special groups here at the ballpark, and they host those groups in the first base dugout suite. And speaking about our military, that's the suite that Ian and Allison will rent out every Saturday. Tomorrow there will be servicemen and women from Whiteman Air Force Base that will enjoy the game from that dugout suite.
Nice.
Rosario will clear the right field bullpen, and he hits that 7 rows back. That is his 21st home run of the year, and Minnesota takes a 3-1 lead. So Rosario is driven in 2. He had been 3 for his last 23 before that home run.
You know, it amazes me, Rosario, you know, not a big guy, but he can certainly develop some bat speed with his quick hands. Caught that ball perfectly.
That was an awkward play for Hosmer. He couldn't decide whether he wanted to try and catch it on the fly or stay back, and knowing if he would stay back, he'd have to catch it and get to first base in a hurry with Buxton burning up the first base line.
Yep, didn't take much time. I mean, for Buxton to get down that line, I mean, look at that. That's amazing. I'll have a stopwatch on him, but I might the next time he gets up there just to see what his time is to first base, like the scouts do. He can fly.
And now Kepler, and he takes down and away ball 1. Kepler also grounded out to Hosmer his first time up. That was with a swing. (2-0) on Max Kepler. Time for AARP's Getting to Know Max Kepler. Born in Germany, and there are only 5 major leaguers since 1950 who were born in Germany, most of which eventually grew up here. Ron Gardenhire, who used to manage the Twins for a long time very successfully, won 6 division titles, was born in Germany, but his father was at an Air Force base, so he grew up in the United States. Max Kepler didn't get to the United States until he was 16. He will take a walk. That is Kennedy's 3rd, and Kepler grew up like a lot of German kids, wanting to be a soccer player. He's a great athlete. He had been invited, and this is an honor, but he had been invited to go to Steffi Graf's tennis academy, where you not only go there to play tennis, but you also go there for your schooling. But he turned it down to sign with Minnesota, and then he ended up finishing up high school in Fort Myers, where Minnesota plays at spring training. And by the way, Hurricane Irma is supposed to go right over Fort Myers, Florida.
Oh, man.
Well, it was the original spring training home of the Royals.
Yep. Terry Park, I believe, was the name of it.
You got it. Breaking ball at the knees. Strike one on Escobar.
You know, playing in the Florida State League for 6 years like I did early in my career in the early 80s, we had to endure a couple of hurricanes. One, we missed 8 days in a row. We got washed out. I think it's Hurricane.
Was that Andrew?
No, it wasn't Andrew. I want to say Helen. But, you know, we lived on the beach, so we had to get evacuated. The authorities came, knocked on our door and said, "Are you out? We got to get out." So we went inland. Didn't have any place to go, but we found a place to stay and had to wait it out. You know, in minor league, you don't have a lot of money, so I'm not calling home because there's no offerings coming from home. So what do? 8 evenings in a row. You got to feed yourself. You know, you're not at home. You can't cook. So I understand a lot of people, a lot of hardship going on down there like that.
One and two on Escobar.
But there's a lot of members, you know, Minnesota Twins, they train down there. I know Bert Blyleven, he's here. His wife is taking care of her mom and dad there in Fort Myers, and
that's where Bert lives.
Yeah.
In the off season.
So there's a lot of concern now.
Line right center field, and Melky Cabrera looked like he lost it in the lights for a moment, but makes the play to end the third inning. Eddie Rosario's home run gives Minnesota a 3-1 lead. Volunteer of the American Heart Association. Recently, the work of the American Heart Association touched her personally during a phone call with her Gram. Nikki quickly noticed that something wasn't right when Gram began slurring her words, and she quickly thought back to something that she learned from the American Heart Association, an acronym for recognizing a stroke fast: face, arm, speech, and time. She called 911. And because of Nikki's fast action, Gram is sitting next to Nikki in the Buck O'Neil legacy seat at tonight's game.
Fantastic, Nikki. You still have a Gram. You're going good.
3-1 Minnesota. Alex Gordon, Ramon Torres, and Whit Merrifield are coming up. Alex had 2 hits last night. He drove in the tying run in the bottom of the 5th inning, and then he scored the then go-ahead run to give the Royals a 2-1 lead, and the Royals held on to that until the Twins got 3 in the 9th. 1-2. Irvin Santana has set down the last 6. One of those was a sacrifice fly, which tied the game at 1. Minnesota has 1 run in the first, second, and third innings.
Irvin Santana, he knows how to pitch. He's one of the best in the American League for sure. He's a guy that you can rely on. His teammates, when they're coming out to the ballpark, when he's pitching, they know they got a chance to win. That's the sign of a solid starter. Now, just 22 pitches is all he's absorbed, and he does have 5 complete games this year, which is an amazing number in today's modern game, and that leads all major league pitchers. So he's, I mean, unless he can, Royals can get him in onto some, you know, a lot of pitches in an inning, he could do it again with his pitch count staying down low.
Ramon Torres gets another start at third base. He was 0 for 3 in last night's game. Slapped to left center field, but a lot of slice, and that helped out Rosario. It was slicing into Rosario, and there are 2 down. The Red Cross depends on financial donations to be able to provide disaster relief immediately. Help people affected by hurricanes Harvey and Irma by visiting redcross.org or texting the word Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation. Santana has set down 8 in a row, and now Merrifield pulls it foul. We had mentioned Santana's 5 complete games, which leads the major leagues. Last year, Chris Sale led the major leagues with 6. So that is a dramatic departure from 20 or 30 years ago.
Yeah, phenomenal.
One ball and 1 strike. The Royals record for complete games is 21. Dennis Leonard in 1977. Leo also had a 20 complete game season, and I remember being on a caravan one year with Brian Anderson when he was pitching for the Royals, and I had mentioned that introducing Dennis Leonard, you know, that he had the Royals record for complete games, 21 in one season. Brian Anderson about fell out of his chair. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and you know, the caravan, we make one stop and we jump on the bus and go to the next location, and that's all he wanted to talk about. 21 complete games. Wonder how many Bert Blyleven had in a single season.
Man, are you kidding? How about over his career? He's a Hall of Famer, by the way, right in the 2 booths over from us. Yeah, I heard there were managers would approach that day's starting pitcher back in the day saying, hey, I don't have anybody in the bullpen that can throw, so you got the whole 9 innings. Good luck. There you go. That's what they expected back in those days.
Trevor Cahill is warming up already. Well, to answer my question, in 1973 for the Minnesota Twins, Bert Blyleven had 25 complete games. He started 37 and completed 25.
Wow, that's phenomenal. That's what we're talking about.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
But just that the starting pitchers in today's game aren't trained to go complete games. With the era of the bullpen now, Bert is a dinosaur, and not from an old man standpoint, but from his era. He's in good shape, he'll tell you.
Witt is on with a 2-out walk. And that's a good way to put it. They're just not trained these days, because there's this perception by some old school pitchers, you know, boy, pitchers today, you know, they can only go 5 or 6 innings. And they train hard. I mean, today's pitchers, I mean, they work hard. It's not that they're soft.
No.
That they only go 5 or 6 innings. I mean, that's what they're trained to do in the minor leagues.
That's right.
And they're not asked. How many complete games will you see in the entire minor leagues?
That's interesting. I would bet on one hand. We just showed you a shot of Bartolo Colon. Now Bartolo, he's been around a long time. We know that. I bet he's got some complete games in him, and we'll see him on Sunday. That walk was good by Merrifield. Milked that pitch count of Santana's. Work him.
Want to know on Kane, just to answer the question I just posed, take the Pacific Coast League, for example. The league leader has 2 complete games, and he's the only guy in the whole league who has more than 1 complete game. And that, I mean, that could be a 7-inning complete game.
Yeah.
In the minor leagues if you're playing a doubleheader. Lifted to right.
Yeah, just 2 in 1 league. Okay.
Kepler makes the play on Kane, and at the end of 3, Minnesota leads 3-1. They have 1 run in each of the first 3 innings, and Ned Yost is going to go to his bullpen. Trevor Cahill is a Chevy call to the bullpen. So Ian Kennedy goes 3 innings, giving up 3 runs, 4 hits, a home run, and 3 walks.
Ned can recognize when a starter has his stuff and when he may not. So obviously with the walks, Palmer, he didn't want to get the score. He's going to give Cahill a chance. Cahill's got 4 pitches: fastball, slider, curve, change, and he'll mix them all. Not overpowering.
It'll be Castro, the number 8 hitter, Grossman and Dozier. Ned Yost also announced before the game tonight that Kelvin Herrera is going to be taken out of the closer's role. The Royals feel like one of his issues this year is how little he's pitched. He's only made 55 appearances. So kind of an interesting dilemma for Ned Yost. On one hand, he wants to pitch Kelvin Herrera more often, but then Kelvin came up with that tightness in his wrist.
Yep.
Curveball's in for a strike to Castro, so trying to get Herrera back on track. They're going to put him in a more familiar role and use him in the 7th and 8th innings. Ned has not named a fill-in starter. Let's go game to game, matchup to matchup.
By committee. And you know what? A lot of managers do that. They don't have an established closer. But you know, for Herrera, it's just been a tough year for him. His first year in the closing role hasn't worked out like he's wanted to. 8 home runs, and most of those were all given up in the first half.
Just inside, 2-1 on Castro.
He has the stuff. There's no question about it. But obviously, it's not that he's nervous, because look what he did in the World Series 2 years in a row. He was a big part of that bullpen. He came in there and was lights out. So it's not that. It's just it's a tough job closing games down in opposing ballparks, and even in your own. It's a different animal.
Making the comparison to a relay race, there's a big difference between being able to hand the baton onto somebody else and being the last guy who grabs the baton, and there's nobody to hand it off to.
Counting on you.
Paulo Orlando is there in center field. Castro is 0 for 2. Let's go to Joel.
Well, guys, some good news regarding Joakim Soria, who appears to be close to returning. He went out and threw his first simulated game this afternoon. Now, earlier in the week when he threw, felt a little bit in his side, but better today, improving each time out there. And he did pretty well facing hitters. Talking to head trainer Nick Kenny, who was encouraged, he said that they'll determine the next step, and this is almost always the case, based on how he feels tomorrow. But we're at a point now, guys, in the season where going for a rehab appearance in the minor leagues isn't really an option. So there are really 2 options for him. He comes in tomorrow and they say, okay, well, he needs another sim game. Or if he reports that he's feeling good, he could be activated awfully soon. Nick did point out to me that at this point of the year right now, whether it be Moustakas or Kane or Duffy or any of the injured guys, there are a lot of players right now trying to get out on the field that usually would not be on the field if it were, say, May or June, but it's do or die time right now.
2-1 on Robbie Grossman. He walked his first time up. And that is into the right field corner. Grossman's at second base with 1 out. He is on for the 2nd time tonight. So now in his 4 games since coming back from the disabled list, Grossman has 2 doubles, 2 home runs.
Like a changeup, maybe that was a slider that just hung up over the middle of the plate. Cahill's got a good changeup when it's fading away to the lefties. So that's been a good pitch for him. Fastball's not overpowering. 88-92.
Brian Dozier has 2 hits. He opened the game by swinging at Ian Kennedy's first pitch and single to left. He stole second and scored. And then he drove in a run with a single to the opposite field in the 2nd inning. Here's the changeup. 0-2.
Changeup's his best secondary pitch. Just to sink the fastball. Look at the bottom fall out of that baby.
Just high.
Missouri Lottery says that was up out of the grid.
Dozier hit 42 home runs last year. 11 were against the Royals. That was a record for any player against the Royals in a single season. But look at that. The year before he had 0, and this year he has 1.
Huh.
3 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, he likes to ambush first pitch fastballs. We found that out. And it's all about the location. He was so hot last year that you had to really be careful where you were locating that heat, or he wouldn't miss it, especially in their place.
Pulled foul. Brian Dozier has more home runs in the second half than any major leaguer going back to last year. 44. That's 6 more than the next closest hitter. It's that one on the ground to Escobar. Grossman stays at second. 2 outs. And now Joe Mauer with a runner in scoring position. He has grounded out twice, and he's moving up on the all-time RBI list for Twins players on our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. And he has 3 Hall of Famers in front of him. 2 baseball Hall of Famers, I should say. 4 Twins Hall of Famers in front of him. Tony Oliva is someone who many have campaigned for over the years. Mauer also has just shy of 1,000 runs scored. That's 4th all time in Twins history. Kirby Puckett is the leader in that category. Two and 0. Tony Oliva's claim to fame: the only major leaguer to win a batting title in his first 2 major league seasons.
Wow. And his numbers aren't good enough for the Hall?
Depends on who you ask. But for now, there is no plaque in Cooperstown.
And you know, he's at the Twins home games behind the batting cage. He dresses out, and he's just a nothing but an encourager. He just loves to encourage young players and tell them how great they are. And I bet very few of them know how great he was. Fun guy to talk to, good stories, but he's an energy giver. He's a good guy to have around.
A 4-pitch walk. One of my favorite stories was told by Tony Oliva. Very early in my broadcasting career, I got a chance to go on a caravan with him, and he played in the 1965 World Series. They lost to the Dodgers, and before Madison Bumgarner against the Royals in 14, Sandy Koufax's name would come up quite a bit for what he did in 65. And somebody asked Tony at a dinner, what was it like facing Sandy Koufax? And Tony Oliva, with his Cuban accent, said, in baseball, you see the ball and you hit the ball. But when you face Sandy Koufax, you don't see the ball.
So that's a problem, right? That's a problem.
There's a strike on Polanco. He is walked and flied out to left. Oh, and 2 on Polanco. With 1 out, Grossman doubled. With 2 outs, Mauer walked. And the Twins have walked 4 times in the first 4 innings. Just got a piece of it. Minnesota Twins are third in the American League in walks. Just foul. That number, the number of walks, is really the difference between the Royals and the Twins. I mean, their average is exactly the same. Their home runs are almost exactly the same, but walks, which has led to more runs.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Including tonight, Minnesota has 191 more walks than the Royals this year, and they have scored 90 more runs with, again, the same batting average and essentially the same home runs.
Well, it might be something that the Royals could incorporate in their game in the future, depending on players that they'll have next year. Right now, you know, these guys, they all swing. The Royals, that's their policy. They act. Never seen a pitch they didn't like, and they've had some success doing it. But Molitor's got a bunch of young, proven, you know, unproven, but they're slowly becoming proven this season by getting at bats. They've graduated from the, well, he's young, let's let him take a chill pill for a few more days and then get him back in there. And he's just leaving them in there now. Now they're getting their at bats, and you can tell a big difference with the Polanco's and the Rosarios, and even Escobar. Eduardo Escobar is a utility guy, but with Sano out, he's becoming an A guy. Got some. Max Kepler's young.
3-2 with Rosario on deck.
Just leaving him in there.
Back-to-back walks with 2 down. And now the Twins have 5 walks tonight, and Dave Island's going to go out and have a little visit with Cahill and make sure he's right before facing Eddie Rosario, who hit a sac fly in the first inning and then turned in our ram drive of the game with 1 out in the 3rd.
Ooh, man, that 21st home run was big time. Look at that short, compact. Look at the extension. Both hands on the bat. That was a really good swing as far as fundamentals. The good lower half, the upper half, the turn, everything about that swing was beautiful. And having a chance to talk with Molitor before the game today, he said that the last 4 losses that they've had, 3 out of the 4 they were in every game, and that's including the 2 that the losses that the Royals put on them in their house. They were in every single game in the 9th inning, down by a run. And he says that's a sign of character in our ball club. We're starting to build that character. We can come back against their closers in the 9th inning.
He has 2 grand slams in his career. Two 2-0. Speaking of home runs, Eddie Rosario hit a home run on the first pitch he saw in the big leagues 2 years ago. The 29th in Major League history to do that. 2-1.
And I'd like to have swung at the first pitch I saw. I was so scared. I was stiff as a board. I was nervous. I was scared. I was totally intimidated. I wasn't even thinking swing. I just want to see a pitch. That's pretty impressive.
into right center field, and 2 runs will score. Minnesota has scored in each of the first 4 innings, and they take a 5-1 lead. Rosario has driven in 4 of the 5.
Yep, just stays with it. That's an outside pitch, and he just put it up the middle. Good easy swing. Didn't try to overswing.
First and third for Byron Buxton. He is 0 for 2 tonight and 0 for his last 17. Rosario runs and no throw. Putting another runner in scoring position. One and 2. And now Ryan Buchter goes to work in the Royals bullpen. Kennedy went the first 3, gave up 3 runs, and now Cahill took over in this inning, has given up 2. Changeup got him looking. Buxton strikes out for a second time. Minnesota has scored in each of the first 4 innings, and they take a 5-1 lead into the bottom of the 4th.
The showstopper. We are going to head up to Washington to see this inside the Parker. How about that? Taylor, oh my goodness. Michael Taylor misjudged by Odubel Herrera, and as you can see, Herrera not too excited about going back for that one. So Michael Taylor hustles and runs the bases, and he'll take it. Inside the park slam. Wow, those don't happen all the time.
It's ladies' night at Kauffman Stadium. Wow. Fastball for a strike to Melky Cabrera. I think I saw Danielle Shank out there in left field among the ladies enjoying the evening.
Okay.
The wife of former Royals television producer Kevin Shank.
Okay. We're glad they're here.
Melky Cabrera drove in the Royals run in the first inning. Kepler comes up in right field to make the play. One out and time for our sprint trivia question. Name the 2 active pitchers with more career starts than Ervin Santana and has never pitched in a World Series. There are 2 active pitchers who have more career starts than Ervin Santana and has not pitched in a World Series. And for Ervin, this is his 372nd career start. Eric Hosmer, deep to right field, gone for his 5th career home run against Ervin Santana. That's the most home runs for Hosmer against any one major league pitcher. It is 5-2.
Impressive. Good easy swing. Just seemed like the ball jumped. Now the inside heater was not exactly where Castro, the catcher, called for it. He wanted it up, but he left it in. You don't see Haas pull too many homers, but he got this one just enough. Kepler, nice try. Hang with him. A little bit of life in that Royals dugout.
Oh, Larry.
2-0 on Salvador Perez.
Watch where Castro's setting up here. He wants it up, and then all of a sudden he has to reach down, and Haas just got it. Look at that back leg bend. That back leg, he had to leverage himself to get way down in order to get the back underside of that ball. Very nice.
So that gives the Royals 171 home runs this year, adding to their new team record. 2-2.
You know, that showstopper, I'm having a hard time getting over that. Not only, you know, that was tough ball to read for Odubel Herrera, the Phillies center fielder. It was a line shot. You could tell Taylor, he barreled it. Odubel started in, he misjudged it, and then when the ball went over his head, he didn't hustle after the ball. That won't score you any points with your outfield coach or your skipper.
Santana strikes out Salvi. That's Santana's second. Any thoughts on the trivia question? Now, my first thought was Bartolo Colon because he's in the house, but we saw him pitch for the Mets in 2015.
Yeah.
He was the loser in Game 1.
Okay.
That was Colon's first World Series. One and one on Paulo. He grounded out to first in the second inning. One hop to Escobar. So the Royals get a run. With one out, Eric Hosmer hits number 24, his 5th career home run against Ervin Santana, and that makes it a 3-run game.
on the Royals game 2 of 4 here, top of the 5th inning. Hey, calling all yogis. Join the Royals for the 3rd annual Yoga Day on Sunday, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. This theme ticket package includes a pregame 1-hour yoga practice on the outfield grass with Steve Physiok and his lovely wife Stacy, a Royals themed yoga mat, and a light breakfast at Rivals. You'll also have a ticket to watch the Royals take on the Twins for that afternoon's game. Purchase your theme ticket today at Royals.com/theme tickets. Got him. Good play. All right, let's see you out there Sunday, folks. Look at Escobar circling into the ball, coming to it, throwing off of his right leg, right over the top. Good stride by Haas. Look at the stretch. That was nice.
There's one of my neighbors, Hud.
Where?
Lady right in the middle in the black glasses.
Okay.
That is Hope Cherry.
Nice.
The wife of Chiefs great Duran Cherry.
Fantastic. Enjoying ladies' night out. Glad they're here.
Her phone's about to blow up.
Sweet.
Great family.
Nice.
You notice that I know a lot of the ladies that are here tonight?
I didn't want to throw you under the bus at all, but I am impressed with your knowledge of especially all the ladies with ladies' night out.
Eduardo Escobar hits it deep into right field, and that is gone. That's Minnesota's 2nd home run tonight. They have now scored in each of the first 5 innings, and they immediately get the run back the Royals got in the bottom of the 4th.
There's one of the reasons why they're not missing Sano, their young star 3rd baseman. It's because this young man here, Eduardo Escobar, hitting his 16th homer and 60th ribby, is stepping in and stepping up.
Well, that look on Ned Yost's face says it all. He goes to his 3rd pitcher in the 5th inning and a Chevy call to the bullpen. Run in the first 5 innings. It's a full day of college football and Royals baseball tomorrow on Fox Sports Kansas City and Fox Sports Kansas City Plus. The action kicks off with K-State taking on Charlotte at 11 a.m. here on Fox Sports Kansas City, and then it's KU and Central Michigan at 3 p.m. on Fox Sports Kansas City Plus, and then the Royals and the Twins back here on Fox Sports Kansas City, and our coverage begins at 5:30. Ryan Buchter throws strike 1 to Jason Castro, so it's the 5th inning, and Ned Yost has gone to his 3rd pitcher. Ian Kennedy went 3. Trevor Cahill 1 1/3. Buchter comes on with 1 out and nobody on. Popped up. Two down. Castro is 0 for 3.
Buchter, 6'3", 220, big lefty, 90 to 95 with his fastball, cutter, slider.
Robbie Grossman as a right-hand batter. Buchter, a 94, misses outside. Grossman hitting left-handed tonight, has walked and doubled. Two and 0. Three balls and no strikes. Twins have already had 3 walks tonight, one of which has turned into a run. Full count. Jammed him. Paulo comes up from center and makes a play. So Buchter comes on. He faces 2 and retires 2. 4.5 played, and Minnesota leads 6-2. Eduardo Escobar against the Royals. 6-2 Minnesota, bottom of the 5th inning. Star Wars Day is coming up on Sunday. It's a theme ticket, and with that theme ticket you'll receive an exclusive Drew Butera TIE Fighter Pilot bobblehead and your ticket to watch the Royals and the Twins. So purchase those theme tickets at royals.com/theme tickets. Alcides Escobar leads off, and he drills that into the left field corner, and off the bottom of the wall. Rosario plays the bounce perfectly, but Escobar is in with a leadoff double. He is 1 for 2. Number 29.
Yep, he keeps going, finding gaps and the line. Now that he jumped all over that, and I didn't quite barrel it all. It's a slider that stayed up. You can see he hit it off the end of the bat, but well enough for an extra base. Get off the wall.
His career high is 34. That was 2014. Inside to Alex Gordon. He struck out on a fastball in the third inning.
2014, you bring that up. Those were some of the most exciting baseball games that year that I can remember. The whole year, and you know, and it was ups and downs and peaks and valleys, you know, early on. But that was really fun.
Well, the first valley would have been what, the 4 losses right after the All-Star break. What did the Royals drop to 8 games out of first place?
Yeah. That was had people thinking, uh-oh.
It's easy to forget now, but just think of what a big moment it was that Friday night in Chicago when the Royals just clinched going to the postseason for the first time in 29 years. I mean, shoot, that might have been the highlight of the year to that point. What an accomplishment that was. Little did we know what was in front of us.
Yep, wild card. I'll take it.
And that was the launching point. We blinked our eyes and we were here at Kauffman Stadium in Game 7 of the World Series. Sound like a broken bat. Kepler may have lost it at the last moment. Escobar was prepared to tag and go to third. Esky, just like everybody else, figured that Kepler was going to catch it. So when it dropped, he was really close to second base and is able to move up only 90 feet. But the Royals have second and third and nobody out.
Okay, now what you want to do is you want to be able to score, and KC does miss that ball. So Esky maybe got a little bit too close to second base, but if you're already in scoring position like that, he's not happy with himself. He just misread it.
Inside to Torres. He flied out to left field in the third inning. Two and 0. Taking a strike, 2-1.
Clean base hit right here. Let's score 2, get him right back in the game. Fans believe.
Got a pop up. Polanco brings it down, 1 away. Speaking of World Series, our sprint trivia question tonight, we asked you, who are the 2 active pitchers with more career starts than Ervin Santana who have not pitched in a World Series? And the answer, Zach Greinke now has the most starts of any active pitcher who has not appeared in a World Series. He's been to an NLCS with Milwaukee and Felix Hernandez and then Ervin Santana.
Zach's having a good season this year. He's pitching, hitting his spots.
Merrifield has singled to right, and he has walked.
Diamondbacks could get there. You never know.
They've had their way with the Dodgers this year.
Wow. Awesome.
And that could be who the Dodgers face in the first round of the playoffs. That's hit well into left center field. Rosario won't get to it, and it just missed, being a 3-run home run. The Royals will settle for their 3rd double in the inning, and now it's a 2-run game.
Yep, tried to sneak a piece of cheese by Whitley. Whitley already with 1 hit, now it's 2-hit Whit. With a walk in the middle, that ball was smoked. Hit midway up the wall at 387 gap marker.
Here's the pitching coach, Neil Allen, who graduated from Bishop Ward High School. Born in KCK. And they go to work in the Minnesota bullpen. Tyler Duffy loosens up with a runner at second and 1 out. Tying run at the plate, and Lorenzo Cain. He is grounded out to second and flied out to right. Outside for ball 1. That slider right there missed badly, and Cain wasn't even tempted. We haven't seen the best of Santana's slider so far tonight.
You're right.
There's another one down and away. I mean, that has always been his trademark pitch. He throws it a lot. And these are the top 5 as far as percentage of pitches that are a slider in the major leagues. So basically 36%, and opponents are hitting just 156 against that pitch from Santana this year. Cain got a fastball and he fouled it away.
Irvin's slider is when it's on, it's almost unhittable, but he has impeccable control with it. He can put it exactly where he wants on the outer half of the plate, but doesn't look like it's working too well. You're not going to have it every time out. But the sign of a good starting pitcher is if you don't have your best stuff, you still keep your team in the game. You still can compete.
And Cain has laid off 3 sliders in this at bat. Melky Cabrera is on deck. He would represent the go-ahead run if Cain reaches. Melky has driven in a run tonight, and he has good career numbers against Santana. Fastball pulled foul. Got him looking at a fastball. So Lorenzo, after turning on the fastball before, was probably assuming that Santana would go to a slider.
Yep, he's guessing. Good pitch there. He hit right down low. If that ball's elevated right over the middle, belt high, I bet he swings at it. But that he thought might be a ball. Got him thinking.
One of the biggest hits the Royals had last Sunday against Santana in Minnesota was a Melky Cabrera 2-run home run. That's in a good spot. 0-1. Melky has 2 home runs in his career against Santana.
Melky likes what Irvin Santana throws. 356 average, couple homers. Go ahead and tie it up.
0-2.
This is where Irvin likes to put the ball against left-handed batters, right down there, but down low enough so it doesn't get in their wheelhouse. If it's up a little bit more, that can be a dangerous pitch in there.
That ball's hit well to center. Buxton on the run, all the way back. He's got it as he slams into the wall. And yet another great play by Byron Buxton in center field. That saved a run, but the Royals get 2 to get back into the game. They hit 3 doubles. It is 6-4 at the end of 5.
Guy's phenomenal.
Coming up in the bottom of the 5th inning, they get 2 and then lost a run, getting a little taste of their own medicine.
Sure did, but let me tell you what, look at where Buxton is playing. He is playing to the opposite field. Look at how far he had to go and the acceleration this young man possesses. He's a fantastic outfielder and could be in the running for a Gold Glove. Irvin says, hey, look, I'd like to buy you a steak dinner for that. That just saved me at least 1 run.
Let's bring in Joel.
Well, you know, you guys have been talking about what a nice young man he's supposed to be, and I had a chance to go and meet him today. I wanted to talk to him about his elite speed, and he is indeed a very nice guy too, very polite. But you know, there aren't many players in the league that have that type of speed, certainly not that defense. When he had that leadoff or that triple in the 1st inning last week in Minnesota, it was the fastest home to third in the majors recorded this year. And that got Terrence Gore's attention. So if your speed is getting Terrence Gore's attention, that's eye-opening. I mentioned that to Buxton, and he said, look, I like to watch guys like Billy Hamilton or a Trey Turner or a Terrence Gore. Watch the way they turn the bases. Learn that craft from them a little bit, because there just aren't very many guys that have that type of speed. It's sort of its own fraternity. And by the way, Terrence Gore thinks Raul Mondesi might be part of that group too in terms of speed. Jeff Montgomery, for a little perspective, said when Bo Jackson would round the base, it was so loud and so smooth, but it sounded like a herd of buffaloes. And also sneaky fast Kirk Gibson.
Alex makes a play in left center field. Speaking of loud, I've heard from you and others that when you were a middle infielder and you had a chance for a double play, you could hear Kirk Gibson.
Yeah, you could. He had
snorting.
He had some breathing issues, no question, but he had heavy feet.
Breathing issues.
Yeah, you could hear him with his feet. They were so heavy. But you know, another one would like to say, Willie Wilson was a pleasure to watch running. As big as he was, I remember watching him around second base, coming into third, and the dirt from his cleats was 30 feet high in the air, and he was just flying. It is impressive to watch guys like that, no question, especially on the playing field.
Ball one on Joe Mauer. 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Ryan Buchter got the final 2 outs of the 5th inning. 2 balls and no strikes. The Royals have not had a scoreless inning yet tonight. Minnesota scored 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, and 1 in the 5th. Buchter got that call. 2 balls and 1 strike. Fastball by him at 93. And now he takes a fastball for a strike.
Look at Buchter. Buchter's saying, you know what? I'm going to fill that strike zone up. I'm going to throw my fastball, slider, and a little cutter. I'm going to fill it up and let my boys come back and get the lead, qualify for a W.
Here's Polanco with 2 down and nobody on. And Buchter just misses outside. Polanco has walked twice and he's flied out to left field. Paul Molitor has 3 switch hitters in his lineup and 3 switch hitters on the bench. Polanco hits it to left. Gordon makes the catch, and Ryan Buchter has the first scoreless inning for a Royals pitcher tonight. It is 6-4 to the bottom of the 6th.
It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. As we had a little shot of Eric Hosmer there, let's watch him in action with hitting his 24th home run. That's right, 83rd RBI. Now with that home run, he's just one shy of his career high he set last year, 25. That's right, it was over the wall. He'll take it. Look at him, strong. Looking for 25 right here. Why not?
Paul Molitor goes to his bullpen and brings on Tyler Duffy. So Urban Santana still qualifies for the win, but he had a 6-2 lead at one point, and now the bullpen takes over in the bottom of the 6th.
Okay, now he's got a good fastball. He's a strikeout pitcher. Look at that beauty.
Our Sonic Slam inning contestant is Andrew Grossman from KCMO. If the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, Andrew wins $300. A grand slam out of the park, Andrew wins 25 grand from Sonic and the Royals. Can you imagine if Michael Taylor was hitting in the Sonic Slam inning in Washington and he gets an inside the park grand slam
and no money?
It doesn't count.
Oh, that would be heartbreaking.
A 3-pitch strikeout for Duffy.
Good stuff. 3/4 arm slot. He's tough. He's got a little crossfire action with his delivery. Stays on top of the ball very well. Curveball changeup. Look at that curve. That curve. It's a big one. Look at that. He's got his index finger up on that ball. That's a spike curve. Get a little better grip with that middle finger. It torques down on that with that seam. It's like pulling a lampshade.
Salvador Perez with one out. Didn't quite get his arms extended, although he still drives it to the front of the warning track. Salvi is 0 for 3. And here's Kelvin Herrera, and we told you earlier tonight that Ned Yost is temporarily moving him out of the closer's role, trying to put him in a spot where he can pitch more.
Good decision.
Paulo Orlando with 2 outs and nobody on. Paulo is grounded to first and grounded out to third. Line to third. It was a 6-pitch bottom of the 6th for Tyler Duffy. Royals baseball is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Jeep. Hurry in for great deals during the Jeep Celebration event. It only happens once a year. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less. 6-4 Minnesota, and that man right there, Eddie Rosario, is driven in 4. He is facing Ryan Buchter, who breaks Rosario's bat. Escobar throws him out. Ryan Buchter has set down all 6 he has faced since coming on in the 5th inning. On Monday, Fox Sports Kansas City will present a special telecast honoring our armed forces, and we call it This One's for You. That night we'll link up live with soldiers from the 35th Infantry Regiment of the Missouri and Kansas National Guards. This one's for you Monday here on Fox Sports Kansas City. That'll be the Royals and the White Sox. Buxton almost hit on the thigh. He is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. But he's had an impact defensively tonight.
I mean, what was impressive is that Melky, when he hit that ball, I looked down, I saw Buxton was playing in left center. He was playing him over in the off field. Melky pulled it to right center to the deepest part of the yard here without going out, and he was able to get to it. Another highlight catch. I mean, how many times have you seen him on a highlight catch this year? At least 10 times. Now see him? He's up here. He's on this side. Okay? Ball's hit. It's a straight line. You're not going to make that catch unless you're on a straight line. Now at the very end, the ball started sailing back on him. And a pretty good crash. I've seen him crash into the walls a lot. He can take a lick from that wall. Will he be able to take this center field Gold Glove, Mike Trout?
Who would you rather have in center field?
I'd rather have Buxton.
Joel was talking about what a polite young man he is. He is from Baxley, Georgia. You take a dirt road into Baxley, Georgia. Population 4,500. Strike 3 called, and that's the 3rd time that Buxton has gone down looking. He is 0 for 4. And Buchter strikes out his 2nd.
How about Buchter, man? He is looking sharp. Like I said earlier, he's been filling that strike zone up. Now that ball might have been a little inside. Now Buxton, I got to credit him. He didn't say a word to Joe West. Ball looked like it was in off the plate a few inches. It's all right. Get another shot.
Good spot to Max Kepler. He's 0 for 2 with a walk.
He's working that fastball, cutter, slider.
Minnesota scored at least 1 run in each of the first 5 innings until Buchter pitched a 1-2-3-6. He got the last 2 outs of the 5th. So he has retired 7 in a row. Now he's ahead of Kepler. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ian Kennedy went 3. He gave up 3. Trevor Cahill went an inning and a 1/3. He gave up 3. I've got Torres is going to run out of room. That's back into the 3rd row.
Tell you what, though, you look at the body of work that The left-handers in Ned's bullpen have done it. Mike Minor, Booker, and Alexander. He's got 3 quality lefties in that bullpen. I mean, they could come in. They're reliable, and you can trust them at any particular time. I mean, there's some pieces there for a nice bullpen in the future.
2-2.
Not quite ready to talk about the future yet. 23 games left.
Yeah, well, tomorrow
22.
could be the future, right?
I know, you're right. Look at that. Booker's fired up.
Yeah, showing some emotion, and why not? After a rough start on the mound for the Royals tonight, Booker has retired all 8. Royals bullpen tonight. He has set down all 8 he has faced. Royals are down by 2 to the bottom of the 7th inning. Royals Charities has contributed $10,000 to both the American Red Cross and Heart to Heart International to support families impacted by recent hurricane disasters. Fans are encouraged to bring monetary donations to Kauffman Stadium through September 13th to help those affected by these natural disasters. You can also donate online at caring.com/MLB supports. Caring.com/MLB supports. So the Royals are down by 2. Tyler Duffy was impressive, taking over for Urban Santana in the 6th inning. It'll be Escobar, Gordon, and Torres. 1-1 on Esky. He led off the 5th with a double against Santana. He scored on Alex Gordon's double. He went to 3rd on Alex Gordon's double. I take that back. Whit Merrifield drove in 2 with his double. The Royals, they had a 4-double game the other night in Detroit, a 4-double inning in Detroit, and now a 3-double inning tonight. Base hit right field. Man, Escobar just keeps on hitting. He is 2 out of 3 tonight, and now he's batting .246.
I love how he waited on the ball and he was able to stroke it to right. Watch the breaking ball. He recognizes it's a hanger and he just has a nice level swing. Goes to the opposite field, lets the ball travel deep towards the catcher's glove. Beautiful swing. Molly's going to go back to the pin.
And it'll be the lefty Taylor Rogers to face Alex Gordon. over the past few innings after being down 6-2 in the 5th inning. RBI Baseball 2017 returns with fast-paced pick-up-and-play MLB action on consoles and mobile. RBI Baseball is packed with your favorite teams, players, ballparks, and more. Learn more at RBIGame.com and get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Taylor Rogers making his 61st appearance. He inherits Escobar and pitches to Alex Gordon. Alex fouled it off of his leg.
Rogers 88 to 93 with his fastball. A couple speeds to his curve. One's shorter break and the other one's a bigger, and a changeup. Has much better numbers we showed you against lefties than righties.
It is 0-2. Minnesota's bullpen is 13th in the American League in ERA, and they have given up an awful lot of home runs. 71. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two and two. Last night, Alex had 2 hits, an RBI and a run scored. Tonight, he is 1 for 2 with a double and a run scored. With the count 2-2, the infield shifts way over to the right. And he hits it to the left side with a broken bat. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but they were not shifted way over to the right until right before that pitch.
Yeah, they moved, and they moved wrong. Of course, it didn't matter where they were playing. They're not going to catch this doinker. This is beautiful. You got to love that. Now, that ball was way, way, way outside on that one. That was a previous pitch. But look, Alex, he'll take this one. This is what you want to do with 2 strikes. Keep the line moving here. A nice base hit by Escobar, a bloop. Now how about a blast? Torres does not have a major league home run.
Or a major league sacrifice bunt.
Yep, I might be taking my chances with him dropping one down. Ouch.
He was hit, although did he offer at it? And I think Joe West said that he did. So
yeah.
Torres is getting ready to go down to first base, but Joe West is going to say that he offered at that bunt, and now I don't even know if Torres knows he's coming back to the plate. Now he's been told.
Painful strike. Now see his hands. If they're out there and he offers at this, yep, and he did. Couldn't. Oh man, I hit him on the top of the knee. Ooh man. Ouch.
Let him take a rip.
I say, hit a dinger. Hit your first career.
1-1.
Usually in a bunting situation, pitcher's going to stay firm with that fastball because that's a little bit more difficult to bunt than a breaking ball that's less velocity, but also it's moving down and it's easier for the hitter to put the ball on the ground. But when you're a guy like Torres, middle infielder, utility type player, and you're new in the league, you're a rookie, you need to do what the manager asks you to do.
He bunts it foul, and it's 1-2.
Now I've seen guys bunt with 2 strikes, but you have to be a good bunter and you have to have confidence in putting the ball down. If you foul it off, you're out. But this is right here. You know, the bat head was down below. He had no chance of getting it down. That's a ball you want to take. Pull that bat back. But now we'll see what he does. Breaking ball's coming in.
2-2. Torres will do his best to avoid a ground ball double play, and that was huge for the Twins defense last night. They turned 4. Ground ball, base hit center field. Escobar scores. It's a 1-run game. Torres comes through. And there are still 2 on with nobody out.
How about the offense coming alive here against the Twins bullpen? Very nicely done. This heater's right down the middle. He's not going to miss that. Good short compact swing. Yeah, that's working it. Molitor, he's wearing a little path from the dugout to the mound right now as he's going to bring in another reliever, but that's a nice base hit with a ribby attached for Torres. Keep the line moving. Now you got Whitley coming in. They're coming up.
This is Trevor Hildenberger. Down 6-2 tonight. Now it's 6-5. They have scored 1 on 3 straight hits in the 7th inning.
Love that swing. Got it going by Escobar. Alex will take the broken bat thing. That's right. Now this base hit's clean up the middle by Torres. He'll knock in a run. Here it comes. The Royals are coming back here late.
Trevor Hildenberger was the winning pitcher last night. He pitched the bottom of the 8th, and then the Twins got 3 in the 9th.
Okay, now
he's going to give right-handers a bad angle.
He is. He's tough. So I'm going to ask Merrifield to bunt if, you know, he wants to. Maybe I'll leave him on his own, but I'm going to tell him, hey, look, do what you want. It's tough to swing and make contact with this guy. He's a sidewinder. Sinker slider. Whitley's an excellent bunter. Could keep the inning alive here by moving him. Certain situations are okay to do. Yep, we agree with you, young man.
The way he's swinging right now.
Let him swing. Okay. Let him swing.
He singled against Hildenberger last night. He went to right field, and there's a ground ball to Polanco.
Yep.
And that is 5 double plays for the Minnesota Twins in the last 2 games. So 2 down, and Gordon goes to third.
Yeah. Play it safe, move him over, would have been the call there, but look, it didn't work out, and Whitley's got the numbers to show it. That's it. Ball in the middle, 89 miles an hour. Just tried to pull him and unfortunately hit it right into the lane, but they can keep the line moving here with Locane, a big 2-out base hit. You tie it up.
Minnesota scored in each of the first 5 innings. The Royals have now scored in 3 of the last 4 innings. Hildenberger got Kane to ground into a double play last night. That was the 4th double play of the game for Minnesota pitchers, and now a little chopper to the right side, foul.
Good. Like Locane's approach there. This guy here, if you try to pull him, you'll do what Whitley did. You'll hit it to a double play. So I like the fact that Bauer's the only fielder over there on the right side. He just tried to find a hole over there. That's what you want to do. Buxton, excuse me, Dozier. There's their 3 over there. There's plenty of room here for a little just a bleeder, any kind of little squibber, any roller. That's what he tried to do there. Let's get that run home.
So rare to see 3 infielders on the left side. We see 3 infielders on the right side all the time. So Hildenberger, to counter that, he's going to do his best to make sure Lorenzo doesn't have a pitch that he can hit to the right side.
He's going to try to stay in that sinker in to sets up the slider. Now the slider, if it hangs, you could pull it and pull it with some authority.
Shallow center, Dozier out, Buxton in, and that's the inning. So the Royals get 1, and they've turned a 4-run game into a 1-run game. That is a home run from Eddie Rosario in the 3rd inning. And then a 2-run single in the 4th. Minnesota led 5-1 at that point. Eric Hosmer hit a home run in the bottom of the 4th to make it 5-2. Eduardo Escobar answered with a home run in the top of the 5th to make it 6-2. But it's been all Royals since then. Whit Merrifield doubled in 2 in the 5th inning. And then just moments ago, Ramon Torres, who didn't get a bunt down earlier in that at-bat, singled to center. That got Escobar to the plate. And it is 6-5 at the end of 7.
Royals battling back. They need a good hold right here by Herrera.
So removed from the closer's role. Snedjos is trying to find ways to get him more appearances and more consistency. Took the blown save last night. And a fastball for a strike to Eduardo Escobar. 2 hits, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. Remember, we were talking the other night in Detroit about the Tigers' Alex Presley, and you get a trade in the case of the Tigers, and he gets an everyday opportunity, trying to prove that he's an everyday guy. Well, with Minnesota, it was an injury to Miguel Sano, and Eduardo Escobar, who has been seen for a while as an extra infielder, a fill-in guy, is now playing every day, and he is making the most of it.
Yeah, he is, and you know, he's really confident in his at-bats. He's hitting his pitch, and he's been aggressive. He's swinging it. He wants to make up for some time. He knows that once Sano comes back, he'll be back on the bench.
He hit 6 home runs last year. He has 16 after his home run in the 5th inning tonight. And lately, he's been a real tough out. In his last 7 games, he has hit 4 home runs, and he's driven in 12. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Herrera's fastball, it's firm, mid to upper 90s. Slider change. He has stuff. He's got to get some confidence back.
Escobar last night struck out against Kelvin Herrera. Max Kepler opened the inning with a single, then Escobar struck out, and then that pop-up off the bat of Castro that dropped in between Alcides Escobar and Alex Gordon got that inning going. Now Alex goes back. That ball's carrying, and it's over his head. Eduardo Escobar has a leadoff double. Almost came off the bag.
Confident. Herrera staying with his fastball. Down too. That's a good swing. You know you're hot when you can do that. Just a good handsy swing, letting Herrera supply the power.
Here's Jason Castro. And now Scott Alexander begins to throw in the Royals bullpen. A 1-run game with 1 out in the top of the 8th inning. And these are the 2, or at least 2 of the best teams in the American League playing in close games. Only the Orioles have a better record in games decided by 2 runs or fewer. Castro bunts, and Herrera throws it over to Hosmer, so a sacrifice gets Escobar to third. 1 down. So you got the Orioles, then the Royals, then the Twins, the best records in the American League in close games.
You don't see too many batters sacrifice off Herrera, but Castro, you got to give it up to him. It's not easy to bunt a hard fastball like that.
And now the infield in with 1 out, and Robbie Grossman at the plate. He has a double, a walk, and a run scored. Changeup is high, ball 1. He is below the major league average, getting a runner in from third base in less than 2 outs. Two and 0. 3-0. Grossman rips it into right field. It is 7-5 Minnesota. Now Grossman's going to end up in scoring position. He's going to dig for 3, and he will trade places with Escobar.
Herrera's got to figure some things out here, and is just in a little bit of a slump. Mental, I don't think it's as much physical as it's more mental. It's a location. That ball's right over the middle of the plate at 98. I mean, and now Herrera, he needs back up third base. Watch him now. He's dawns on him now. Look, he might get a triple. I better get over there. So had the ball got by him, it would have compounded the issue and made it look even worse.
It is the 4th time in his last 6 appearances that he has not been able to finish an inning. And here's Scott Alexander to the rescue. Adrianza running at third base for Robbie Grossman, who just tripled in a run. The Twins got a double, a sacrifice bunt, and a triple against Kelvin Herrera. And he's out, and Alexander comes in.
Let's see what Alexander can do. You got to be able to shut these guys down. Don't let him have any more. If they mount a little comeback, come from behind win. Inherited runners stranded 34-44, 238 opponent's average. Getting it all done with a sinker. Look at that ERA, 2.12. Very nice. Infield in. Ground ball pitcher. Likes to pitch to contact. Scott's hoping that he can hit it right at him. If he does hit it, low to mid 90s.
Ground ball fair. Out.
That's it. That's what he wanted. There it was. Couldn't have gotten any better for Scotty. That's what he's saying. I want it right there. A little soft contact, make it easy to get 2 outs. Now he will break out a slider for a left-handed batter, so he's sinker slider.
Joe Mauer with a runner at third and 2 down. Over the outside, strike 1. Mauer last night was perfect. 5 plate appearances, and he reached base all 5 times. Tonight he is 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. And that is a fair ball and into the left field corner, and the Minnesota Twins take a 3-run lead. Three extra base hits for the Twins in the 8th inning.
You got Mauer mixed in with all these young guys, and Mauer's having one of his best seasons in a long time. That ball's right in the middle of the plate at 94. It's short, easy, compact swing. He's got that swing down. That is his patented left field swing.
So he breaks a tie with Justin Morneau on Minnesota's all-time RBI list. So he is 5th all-time. Ball one on Polanco. Two 2-0 on Polanco, who has already walked twice tonight. Helped him out. 2-1.
Minnesota as a team 262 with runners in scoring position. Royals 265. Identical, a lot of areas like you said, Rhinos, except for the walks. Ouch. Okay, no shin guard, all shin, just above the ankle. Painful. Most every hitter that's ever played has experienced that. Something you don't want.
Three and two. Rosario's on deck. The Royals had just made it a one-run game with a run in the bottom of the 7th inning, and Minnesota answers with 2 in the 8th. He doesn't get cheated.
No, he's swinging confidently, and that ball just missed his shin. Watch where this one goes. Almost got his back shin.
And Polanco walks for the 3rd time tonight. So 2 on 2 out for Eddie Rosario, who has driven in half of Minnesota's runs. He drove in 4 in the first 4 innings. He had a sacrifice fly in the first, a home run in the 3rd, and a 2-run single in the 4th. Oh and 1. No balls and 2 strikes. Both runs in the inning are charged to Herrera. 2 runs on 2 hits in 1/3 of an inning. 1 scored after he left the game, and now both runners out there are the responsibility of Alexander.
In case you're wondering, Rhino,
I am.
Rosario against left-handed pitching has hit 282. That's a nice number. He's hitting 286 against righties, so that's consistent. This guy here has been putting on a clinic here this year.
Two balls and two strikes. In one of the games where Alexander has come on in relief of Herrera in the same inning was Friday night in Minnesota, and he struck out Rosario to end the game.
It was a firm sinker, but it was up. It wasn't down, but he surprised him.
Hosmer picks it off in the hole. Alexander kicks the bag in front of Rosario to end the inning, but damage done. Minnesota gets two more. 6 outs to go on offense, and the Royals are down by 3. Bottom of the 8th, but there's mostly good news in regard to the wild card. Tampa Bay and the Royals are tied 3.5 back. Tampa Bay has lost. The Angels are a game back of Minnesota. They are losing. Baltimore is in front of the Royals in the wild card. They have lost. And Texas in front of the Royals in the wild card. They lead in the bottom of the 7th inning at New York. So all those teams, the Royals have to keep an eye on to get into the second wild card spot for. But for Minnesota, they have their eyes on just one team, and that's the Yankees. So they have an opportunity to get to a game and a half back of the top wild card spot.
Sure do. They've got a little bit of momentum going here.
The Minnesota Twins have turned 5 double plays in the first 2 games, and the one they got in the 7th inning tonight was big. Every double play is big, but the Royals scored a run in the bottom of the 7th to make it a 1-run game, and they still had 2 on with nobody out when Hildenberger, who's pitching now, came on and got Whit Merrifield to ground into a double play. And now Melky Cabrera takes a fastball for strike 3. There's 1 out in the bottom of the 8th.
That sinker move away. Had a little bit of movement on it. Locked him up.
Eric Hosmer hit his 24th home run in the 4th inning, so he's 1 away from last year's career high. change speeds on him, and it's 0-2.
Hildenberger 88-94 with that late heavy sinking fastball. Now that's pretty good velocity for a sidewinder like himself. Slider, change up to both righties and lefties. Here it comes.
Hosmer has another base hit. Buxton hustles over to cut it off, and Buxton has a strong arm, and in a 3-run game it's not worth the gamble. Hosmer's on with 1 out.
He stayed right with it. That changeup, he didn't fool him. Put it right up the middle. Haas staying hot, continuing now. 2 more hits. 168 hits on the season now for Haas. He came in tonight 3rd in the American League in hits. Having a solid year.
Slider for a strike to Salvi. He is 0 for 3 so far. He has 24 home runs, 21 of which have come in games as the catcher, tying his Royals record. 1 ball and 1 strike. Salvi has more home runs against the Minnesota Twins than he does any other team. 16, but 14 have come at Target Field, which is not known as a home run hitting paradise. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Broke his bat, and that is double play number 6 for the Twins in the first 2 games of the series. To the 9th, Minnesota leads 8-5. They'll have Buxton, Kepler, and Escobar against Kevin McCarthy. Tomorrow our coverage begins at 5:30. Jacob Junis against Jose Barrios, a couple of young right-handers, and then on Sunday couple of veterans, Jason Vargas and Bartolo Colon, is pitching much better than a guy with a 6.06 ERA.
Sure is.
So McCarthy gets the 9th. He is the 6th Royals pitcher tonight. Buxton takes inside. He is 0 for 4 at the plate with 3 called third strikes. He is 0 for his last 19. But he has also made the defensive play of the game.
What a nice little sinker McCarthy just dropped on him there. 92 to 95, 2-seam sinker, curve, slider, change. He's got 4.
Two balls and 1 strike. Let's go back to the 5th inning. Runner at second, 2 down. It's our Honda play of the game.
Melky thought he had an extra base hit. Buxton said, not if it stays in the ballpark. I will track it, lay my body on the line, and make the play. Beautiful.
He was the 2nd overall pick, Byron Buxton was, in 2012. Only Carlos Correa was drafted higher in 12. Caught by Escobar. It took that play to get Buxton, and who knows how far he goes if that gets past Escobar.
That could have split the gap. It was hit so hard, over 100 plus, I'm sure. Escobar just dropped right into it. Now you can see Paulo would have had a tough route to take to cut it off before it got to the alley. Nice grab.
One out to Max Kepler. He is 0 for 3 with a walk. Now Escobar goes out and runs it down. Remember, every time the Royals turn a double play, the next day McDouble sandwiches are only $1 at participating McDonald's in the greater KC, St. Joe, and Lawrence locations.
They're hitting it to the wrong guy right now.
I don't know if the Twins have the same promotion we do with the double plays, but if they do, everyone in Minnesota is eating free for the rest of September.
They have turned some double plays. They've rolled them over. Yep. Twins are going pretty good right now. They're confident.
One and one on Escobar. Matt Belisle in the bottom of the 9th will get Paulo Orlando, Alcides Escobar, and Alex Gordon. And Ned Yost has a small team on his bench. He has plenty of speed options with Mondesi and Gore. He has some power options with Moss and Moustakas, Soler, Bonifacio. Alex Gordon waits and brings it down. McCarthy pitches a scoreless top of the 9th inning. Minnesota leads by 3.
Royals looking for some ninth inning magic. Coming up after the game on Boulevard Royals Live, Joel Goldberg, Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery, Ian Kennedy KO'd early in this one, and Eric Hosmer going deep, one shy of a career high. We'll talk about that. The bullpen, perhaps Eddie Rosario, and the Twins. Hear from Ned Yost and much more coming up. Hopefully a big rally here against Matt Belisle. Ryan?
Well, they're facing a guy who is 6 out of 10 in save opportunities, and he has a 4.44 ERA. Belisle, we were telling you last night, first got to the big leagues in '03, and over the course of his 15 professional seasons, he had 5 saves, and now he has 6 in this season alone.
Yep, and he's just answering the call. His skipper said, hey, can you do it? He says, what a question. I'm going to do it. Watch me. Belisle. Sinker, slider.
Paulo Orlando, Alcides Escobar, and Alex Gordon. 0-2 on Paulo. He is 0 for 3. One of his outs was a line out to third. Belisle had a 1-2-3 bottom of the 9th inning last night. That was in a 2-run game. Got him with a slider down and away.
Yeah, Belisle, sinker, slider, changeup, 88 to 92 on his velocity, got him away.
He is 37 years old, Matt Belisle, and a long time ago, 19 years ago to be exact, he was a 2nd-round pick of the Atlanta Braves. He was traded for Kent Mercker. That'll tell you how long he's been around.
Wow. Yeah, how about that? Reds, Rockies, Cards, Nationals. I mean, he has been around the block, but look, he's just taken it and gone with it. Broke a bat there, and he's hard to pick up. Comes across his body, and hitters have a hard time seeing him. So look at the art of the deception of pitching is working for him.
You know, looking at his career, I mean, just really another guy. Until the last 2 years, 2015 with the Cardinals, he had a 2.67 ERA, and then last year with Washington, he had a 1.76 ERA.
Ooh, that's getting it done.
Alex takes outside. He has 4 hits in the first 2 games of the series. Major League Baseball, not the organization, but people all around Major League Baseball have just waited for the Minnesota Twins to just fade away into a mist. One ball and 2 strikes. They had lost 3 in a row after losing to the Royals on Sunday. They lost the first 2 games in St. Petersburg and had fallen out of the 2nd wild card spot. But now they're 1 strike away from winning 3 in a row and having a temporary 1.5 game lead over the Angels. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and the Angels are losing 4-2 at Seattle. Still early, it's only the 4th inning, but the Twins are trying to do something no team has ever done before. Lose 100 games in 1 year and go to the playoffs the next year. No team has ever lost 98 or 99 games one year and gone to the playoffs the next year. And that man doesn't have a contract for next season.
How about that?
He's used 16 starting pitchers and 51 total players this year. And they're just hanging in there.
It won't go away. They're not going to go away. He's got them believing. It's tomorrow's starter right there, young man.
Jose Barrios, who has won 12. He really struggled last year in his first taste of the big leagues, but he has bounced back with those numbers. And the Minnesota Twins have won the first 2 games of the series. And the Royals have fallen to 4.5 games back for the second wild card spot. Final score 8-5. We'll be right back.